Hello, gorgeous, divine, beautiful, intuitive one. Happy full moon lunar eclipse in Sagittarius. Yeah. My name is Tiffany Crosara. I am an inner transformation specialist. In particular, I specialize with working with intuitives that have lost themselves in other people. I help them to tune back into themselves and learn the significant missing pieces that mean that they can start to tune into their needs and their wants and actually get them met. So their relationships transform, as do their life situations. Amazing work. I absolutely love it, particularly as I do it through the magic of transformative tarot, which is different to normal tarot. I'm not a reader. You won't come and see me and get a prediction, and you won't get a prediction from any of the people that I train in the transformational truth of tarot either. But what you will get is amazing. And I'm going to give you some of those things today on our live today. So let's start today with a lowdown of the content that we are going to be looking at on today's live. So today's content is about releasing the past and getting present and aiming your arrow of the archer, Sagittarius, aiming the arrow high so that you can become the heartful warrior rather than the hurtful warrior. And why is that a time now? Okay, there's been an error. Oh dear. So I've just been going live on my page, but I've probably now gone live in my group as well. But hopefully you guys know me there in the group. Hi. I just went through my intro. So if you didn't see that, just rewind. Okay, and now I'm going through what we're doing today. So we're going to go through how to release the past and aim your arrow high, your archer's arrow high, because it's a full moon lunar eclipse in Sagittarius, who is the archer, and become the heartful warrior rather than the hurtful warrior. And why is that important now? Well, I'm going to take you through that as well. So what we're actually going to do, or how we're going to do that on this live today, is we're going to look at reflecting and resetting your intention. And the reason we're doing that is because that's what eclipses are about. So every eclipse marks an ending and a beginning. So it's a great time to reflect. My nose is starting to run. I'm live TV. Oh my goodness. Do excuse me. My kitten will probably wake up in a minute and cause absolute havoc as well. Okay. So what happens at an eclipse is that it's a great time to look back at the past 6 months, because they happen at 6 months apart. Well, they're pairs. So there's one at the new moon and one at the full moon, 6 months apart. So the last time we had an eclipse was January the 11th. And maybe I can't remember if it was Boxing Day before then or no. If it was January the 11th, I think it might have even been New Year's Eve or New Year's around New Year. Okay, so we had a really significant time of welcoming in 2020, and what a year has it been. I mean, I was in Mexico at the time, and I actually had a message from the emperor whose year it is, and that's the archetype that's governing this year, saying that if we weren't in alignment, we were going to have a massive karmic whack. Who would have thought that we would be in this situation? So we're going to look back, and it's going to not take as long as you think. It's just very simple. It's just look back at the last 6 months of what was happening, what your intentions were. Was your nose still running? And where you are now with those things. Okay, so we're going to do that. And we're also going to look at your hero's journey, and I'll share screen about that, between 2010 and now. Okay. Hi, Julia. Hi, Tiffany. Hi, Michelle. Great to see you here. Okay, so your hero's journey, I will take you through that. And why is 2010 till now? Because today's full moon in Sagittarius is the first set of eclipses we are having on the Sagittarius Gemini axis. So this will be the trend for the next year and a half or two. It takes a while, you know, all the eclipses will be in Gemini or Sagittarius. And the last time that was happening was 2010 to 2013. So actually it's another marker. It's not just like the marker of the last 6 months, but this eclipse here now actually marks a marker for the past decade. Okay, so it's about looking back at your hero's journey, and I'll explain what I mean about that in a minute when we get into it, and seeing what that's about, where you were the angry victim maybe, and that's the hurtful warrior. Yes, the person that comes from the anger and the victim side is the hurtful warrior, and how now it's about evolving to the heartful warrior. Okay, so we're going to look at that, and I'm going to end with a little live tarot channeling. And if you want to do it with me, then you absolutely can. You can do it with oracle cards if you don't have tarot. Otherwise, you can just sit back and enjoy the meditative message of that. So let's crack on. It's not going to take too long. Wonderful. Somebody's saying this couldn't be more significant now. Let me show you what I can see. It says Facebook user because you haven't registered with StreamYard, and that's fine. It just, you know, if you don't want to be known, it's actually a good thing. It's not to register with StreamYard, but if you want me to know your name, then please do put it in your comment. Otherwise, I don't know who's giving the shout out, although I think I might do when I see it back in the comments in the group. So let's crack on. Okay, so we're going to start with thinking back to the beginning of this year. What was your intention? Did you even set one? Maybe you didn't. Don't worry, because we're going to set one now, okay? So for me, for instance, let me give you an example. It took me a while to kind of get into this, but then I got into it. It was like, actually, I was in Mexico, and the messages that I was getting at the beginning of the year was to be quiet, to be gentle, to be in nature, to not push, to come from that place, to create only from that place. That was my intention. And I remember thinking, crumbs, it's kind of easy in Mexico because you are so, wow. I mean, where I was, which is the Yucatan Peninsula, where all the Chichen Itza and all the other Mayan temples are, and the jungle and the Caribbean Sea, and it's just, you feel it. You feel the shamanistic vibe of the elements, and it's like you can let go of every plan, and there's this divine flow. You can't mistake it. It's like the divine is in charge, and you know it, and all you have to do is just sit there in wonder and go, look at the perfection of that and how that played out. Wow. And I guess I wanted to bring that back to England and to the community around me. And I thought, you know what, it's going to be a bit of a challenge to do that in the way that the world is. And actually, you know what has happened with lockdown, for instance, is like it's been less of a challenge. So I'm quietly pleased on that front. What about you? Did you set an intention? If so, how did it play out? It may not have played out exactly the way that you thought. How could we have possibly known this was going to happen? You know, and that's the magic in life, is that you just sit back and go, oh, wow, look at the way that that played out. Isn't that incredible? Okay, so have a think about that, and whether you set an intention. Interesting. Set an intention. Whether you set an intention or not, it's time to set one now. What do you want for the 6 months going forward until the next lot of eclipses, which will be in December? So we've actually got like a beginning, a middle, and an end this year. It's usually, 2 lots of eclipses, but this year we've got a beginning, a middle, and an end. What a story 2020 is going to be, huh? Okay, so let's see. Do you have an intention? If so, put it in the box. And if you don't right now, don't worry. We will, you'll have one by the end of this, because we're going to move on, and I'm going to show you what I mean about your hero's story and how to go from what might have been causing you a lot of pain over the last decade to actually becoming, instead of the hurtful warrior, the heartful warrior. Okay, and then with the higher self meditation we're going to do with tarot at the end, I'd be really surprised after the next 2 bits of things we're going to do if you still don't have an intention. All right, so let's just share screen a minute. Share screen. Wee trippy. Okay. Oh, that's the wrong screen. Where am I? Where's it gone? I had it up. Bear with me. It's completely gone. Oh no. I did have this up. Okay, so you just have a look here at where it says read blog whilst I try and work out where the thing is that's gone. There it is. Okay, here we go. At least I've got a blog about this moon on my site now, because I probably wouldn't have told you that. There you go. You can just go to tiffanycrosara.com and click the pink button. All right. So let's check you are seeing it. Great. Okay, let's go there now. All right. So you can see, hopefully, you can see this. Yes, you can. I was just checking. Right. Okay. So this is what I mean when I'm talking about the hero's journey. Some of you might know it. It's Joseph Campbell's. Joseph Campbell basically did a story or a study, that's the word, of all different cultures around the world. And he wrote a book called The Hero with 1,000 Faces, because he found that it all came down to one journey, and we all go through this journey. It's an archetypal journey, okay? So if we see 2010 here, let me just write on this for you so you can see where I'm talking about. So 2000, dear me, that's not really working very well, is it? But the start is at 2010. This is what this red thing here means, okay? So what was your call to adventure at that time? This is the journey you've been on, and this is what this eclipse is talking about here. It's like, this is your journey of the angry warrior. Yeah. What is it that was propelling you on this journey here? Yeah. To actually get help, to meet a mentor, to cross the threshold, to go through trials and failures and growth and new skills and death and rebirth and revelation, and finally changes, atonement, gets gift, returns, changed, the end, which is now. Yeah. And so now you have become the hero, yes, rather than the angry warrior. So let me give you an example. 2010 was when I started teaching psychic arts in London, and actually, I had quite a bit of success with that. I wrote a book called The Transformational Truth of Tarot, and that became an award-winning book, and that got me onto TV. And so my career was going really well, right? But I was just not happy, and I couldn't work out what was going on at all. And this is the journey I've been on since 2010, when I was teaching psychic arts and on TV doing tarot readings. I crossed the threshold in 2013 or 14 and launched my own business. This is really where my own business started, my online business. And yeah, I had lots of trials and failures. Ooh, look at this trippy thing here. And helpers and growth and new skills. And I had a death and rebirth in 2016 here. Death and rebirth. Okay. Because things weren't working quite right. And I had this revelation about why things weren't working that well. And that happened in 2016. And since 2016, it's been the atonement. So making good of that revelation. And now I'm kind of at this place of getting gift, returning changed, and the end. So my angry warrior story, or hurtful warrior, angry victim, was the world doesn't understand me. They think I do this or that, and I'm a victim of that. And that has now changed to instead of the hurtful warrior, the heartful warrior, because I've learned, I got the information, the revelation here as to why and how all intuitives suffer from that. And through my own work of getting that right and getting my own gift and changing it in my own life, I return changed and become the heartful warrior for my clients, right? So what's your story over the last decade? That's for you to have a little think about. You might see here that it's like, what is this doing here? This is the tarot, right? What's this got to do with the hero's journey, right? Well, the hero's journey is the fool's journey. And I think Joseph Campbell was a smart guy and knew that people weren't going to align themselves with the word fool. They were much more likely to align themselves with the word hero, and changed it, basically. He just changed the word from the fool's journey, which is what it's known in the tarot. The major arcana is the fool's journey, and changed it to the hero's journey. So basically what you've got here is, this is the numerical order of the tarot. 0, the fool. Here he is. Here's the fool. You can see him as Frodo, for instance. The hero's journey is behind any kind of good book. So Star Wars, any kind of film that you resonate with has a hero that you can identify with, and they go through this journey, because wouldn't it be boring if they just if they didn't go through the journey? And it is the journey of life. That's what the major arcana is in the tarot. It's the journey of life. So look at this. I'm going to show you something really snazzy. What you've got here is the fool. Yeah, call to adventure, the fool. Okay, next he meets a mentor. Very next card. Yeah, the magician. Like if this was Frodo, it would be meeting Gandalf, for instance. Crossing the threshold, number 2, the High Priestess. You see these 2 pillars here? It's because she's in the underworld, or the other world, and this world. She crosses the threshold. Okay, number 3. Ooh, where's my pen gone? Let's pick it back up again. Number 3 doesn't want to be drawn on. Fair enough. She is a queen. Okay, here we go. Number 3 and 4 and 5. All of these 3, as you can see here in this part here, the Empress, the Emperor, and the High Priest are all helpers. The Empress is the mother archetype. The Emperor is the father archetype. And the High Priest is the education, society, government kind of archetype as well. So you've got your helpers of society there. And education gives you trials and failures, as does being brought up gives you trials and failures. So that's the energy there. Right, next up, you then go to the Lovers. Puberty, growth, new skills. Let's not go there. I think you get what I mean. And you also still have that, not just with the Lovers, but you have that with the Chariot, which is like, oh, boom, driving test time. Yeah. And strength and the Hermit. So it's the strength to actually kind of look back over your personal development, which is now this whole part. This is personal development. And this part here is spiritual development. So that's why you then have the death and rebirth, which is here. Death and rebirth. The wheel. Yes, number 10. So this is all in numerical order. Do you see what I mean? Revelation is the very next number. Number 11. Justice. Yes. This one. Justice. Let me do it here because it's already mapped out for you, but I was just trying to give you an example. So Revelation. So rebirth is card number 10. Justice is card number 11, the Hangman card number 12, Death number 13. So it's all in numerical order, the journey of the hero. Yeah, and then you go into Temperance with finally changes. She takes you from one state of being to another. And then cards 15 and 16, Atonement, to make good. Cards 17, gets gift, the Star. Card 18, 19, 20, and 21 is return changed. So that is how the hero journey is the Fool's journey in the tarot. Yeah, and that's basically our journey in life. And that's where you are right now. You've done a cycle of this from 2010 to now. Okay. So now's the time to look back at what that journey has been for you and how you are returning changed. What was it that made you angry? But now you've learned from it because you've got the gift, right? That part there is how you go from the Hurtful Warrior to the Heartful Warrior. Okay, so I'd love to know, put in the chat box if you know what it is for you. Okay, so let me just go back to the, where's this live gone? There you go. Brilliant. Okay, so we've got some comments. Okay, yeah, I thought you would, Michelle. Love Joseph Campbell Studies because I saw you do the quote on your live stream in the Angel Cafe, and it was like, aha, she's speaking my language. Now you can probably see what I meant when I said she's speaking my language. Somebody here saying, nice to see you again. Thank you. I don't know who you are. You can see here it says Facebook user because you haven't registered with StreamYard. All good. Just put your name at the end if you want me to know who you are. Okay, Marie is saying, heal some family issues and bring in abundance. Okay, so sounds like you're still on that journey because of the way you've said this here. It's not I've healed family issues, but maybe you already have. So have a look back at 2010 and how far you've come now and see what the gift is. And maybe that visual that we've just done will really help you with that, Marie. Okay. Drawing this cycle of my journey for myself is going to help me right now. I think this is what enlightening I've been waiting for. That's good to hear. Thank you, Rowena. You've put your name there too. Michelle saying definitely seeing it now. Bing, bing, bing. Okay. So what I'm going to do on Monday is I'm going to go live. So we're going to finish in a moment with the tarot meditation. Okay. So, but just to let you know, on Monday, I'm going to go live with how to actually show you where you are on that journey. We're going to find out where on that journey you are, what card you are actually resonating at. Okay. So if you want to join me for that, then pop on Monday. I think it's midday BST time. Okay. So, and also I am running a journey. I'm running that journey live, and that's starting on the solar eclipse, which comes on summer solstice. Wow, that's pretty powerful. So that's happening in 2 weeks, and we'll be launching then on that date on the summer solstice, where I'll be taking a group of people through that journey. So if you want to be one of them, then you want to get on the early bird waiting list. Okay, so the link to that is in the post for this video. So just click that link, and actually I'm going to put it in the comments for you as well. Now, here it is. Here it comes. That's the link. All right, I've just posted it up there. It says tiffanycrosara.com/invite/hero. So if you want to join me for 22 days to actually walk that and go through it, which is an incredible experience, even if I do say so myself, although plenty of others have walked it before you and also say it too, then just chuck your name in there. Click that link, put your name in, and that means you'll be offered the early bird, whereas nobody else will. If you don't put your name down, you won't be offered the early bird. So there you go. All right, so there's a couple of comments before we go into the tarot side of things. Julia is saying, I want to find clarity on my purpose and business plans and bring in abundance. Okay, so that again sounds like a current hero's journey. Think back to 2010. What was really getting your goat then? And have you got the gift from that? Because when you're clear on that, that is going to help you with your purpose and with your business plans and bring in abundance. Yeah? Does that make sense? Thank you for that share, Julia. And Michelle says, I definitely feel my lesson over the last 10 years has been in setting boundaries. Okay. Makes sense with you being in a 5-year as well. The High Priest is very good at setting boundaries. I was always so frustrated at giving too much, but then I learned it was entirely my own creation. So it may well be that there is something there about, you know, the hurtful warrior, around the pain that happens when we don't have good boundaries in our life. It's incredibly chaotic and dramatic and out of control and takes so much of our energy. And is there something in there now, that hurtful warrior that has now become the heartful warrior, has got the gift from it, that can actually, is that part of your purpose now? Is it to ascend to someone that can really help people with that particular thing? It may be a thing for you to look at. So thank you for that share, Michelle. Right, here we go, tarot time. So we're going to take a moment just to tune into the energy of this full moon lunar eclipse in Sagittarius. If you have tarot or oracle, you have a choice. You can join in with me or not. If you don't have it, you also have a choice. You can tune in with me or not. You can just sit back and relax. How can you do this without tarot? Well, you just tune into mine. It's just intention. Those of you that have tarot or oracle and want to join in with me, take a card and don't look at it. Place it between your hands. Close your eyes. And those of you that don't have tarot or oracle but want to be interactive, again, just close your eyes and pretend you're me sitting here with this card between your hands. Okay, so now we're just going to take some really lovely, gorgeous, deep breaths in and out. We're going to let go of everything that's happened today. We're just going to let that go down through the earth and become here now in this moment. Nice deep breaths in and out, releasing and letting go. Along with that, let go any trying to know the card between your hands. It's not about that. Release that too. And now as you breathe in, just welcome the energy of the card between your hands. Just welcome it in, breathe it in, up through your arms into your being. Just open and soften and relax and welcome it in. Just imagine it if you're intending this card is between your hand. And as you breathe out, just allow the energy to resonate throughout every part of your being. And just take a moment to blend, be in the beautiful connection of blending energy with the card without trying to figure out what it is. Just concentrate on the feeling that you're getting from merging with it. Just tune into how it makes you feel mentally, any changes in your thoughts, emotionally, any changes in your feelings, physically, any changes in your temperature or body. Now you just tune into any visions. Maybe it's a color, or maybe you're actually seeing a vision or an object. And next you send your thoughts up and you ask for the message. You just say, what's the message in this card for me today? Okay, and then when you're ready, come back round and have a little look at your card and then put your card and your message in the comments and I can help you with it. Okay? So, what was mine? I will tell you the message first. I felt cold. I saw a card. I saw the tower, but I also saw the emperor with it. It was like he was building the tower and there was this whole army going up into the tower. And there was this swirling feeling. It started to feel a bit like water and waves. And there was this motion and this energy that was building. And the message I got was, think higher, think bigger. It has more of a gravitational pull. That's how you make things work, or you gather momentum. So that was the message. And let's see what the card was. It was the King of Swords. I did feel like I was the Emperor, and the Emperor is the King of Kings. And I was wondering the strategy. It was like, how does he get so much momentum? And the King of Swords is about strategy. Swords is thought. So it's about, how do you apply strategy? What is your mindset? And the message I was given was, think bigger. Yes. See the bigger picture. And that's how you gather momentum. Okay, so that was mine. I'm just going to go through your comments to finish now and see where we're at. Okay. So, Michelle, Julia is saying that she resonates with your comment about boundaries. And Michelle says, yes, definitely. Ironically, I'm able to give so much more now that I have clear boundaries. And I think that is a really powerful piece. It's like what my favorite saying, or one of them, is, Then I learned that being spiritual has nothing to do with being nice. It's to do with honoring my own needs first and foremost. And then I can serve and give love from a place of love rather than from a place of lack and a place of fear. Oh, I fear that they're not going to like me, or those types of things. If I say no, or if I don't give to them. And also, I was saying to Julia, actually, this week we've been talking about, in a group we've been talking about timetables and how as intuitives we don't tend to like timetables, but actually when I do a timetable, I realize I have so much more time than when I don't do a timetable, and I just always feel like I'm up against it. So not having a timetable puts me in a place of lack. And I guess it's really the same with boundaries. If we don't have that clarity, we feel like we've got nothing in that sense. But when you have that, it protects and makes you see that actually you've got a lot more than you thought. So thank you for that comment, Michelle. Awesome. Tank says she got the King of Cups. I'd love to know your message, please, Tank, so I can comment on that. It's about the message, and I do want to know the card, but I can't do anything if I only see the card. So Marie is saying, I felt very peaceful, and my card was the Chariot. Now that's interesting, and I'll tell you why. I saw a gold key, also interesting, and message was time to move forward. That is very much a Chariot message. And also it can be a bit like the antidote. The Tarot Feely is what we've just done is an exercise I call the Tarot Feely, and we practice it in my groups, particularly the Transformational Truth of Tarot. And the more that you do it, the more that you realize that it can sometimes be an antidote to the card. So the Chariot is full of angst, really, on the journey. He's at that place of trial and failure that we saw on the hero's journey. But the fact that you got peace channeled through to you, it's the higher self. You're not reacting to what you're seeing with the cards, so the higher self message can come through of just be at peace, it's okay. And that's what's so powerful about the Tarot Feely, is that you don't get into that kind of like the visual fear, like, oh my God, feeling that you can do when you see a card. So that's fantastic. It's brilliant. It sounds like you're spot on with the Tarot Feely. You've got it. That's brilliant, Marie. Okay, Julia is saying, feeling comfort, safety, warmth, message, trust, all is well. You have everything you need. Card 6 of air. Air is swords. So again, it's kind of similar to the Chariot, although it is actually slower than the Chariot. 6s are about progression. And so in like the Rider-Waite, you'd see it as the boat with 6 swords and ferryman rowing someone across to refuge or something like that. It's like coming out of troubled waters. So you have everything you need. Yes, your call has been answered and there's a progression. So that's fantastic too. Excellent. Okay, so Tank is saying she got image trees and rocks and messages can reconnect. Okay, so there may be something there about reconnecting with nature for your intuition. King of Cups is very intuitive kind of guy. Okay, so today what we have covered is reflect. Yes, the importance of reflecting from how your intention has played out for the first half of this year. Reset, the importance of getting an intention. So if I ask you now, do you know what your intention is for the following 6 months? Put it in the chat box if you know. Have a look at your hero's journey over the last decade. Where have you gone from the angry victim, i.e. the hurtful warrior, to now the heartful warrior? Because your story, what you've been through over the last 10 years and what you've managed to get the gift from, is where you then go to the heartful warrior, which is going to serve you really well in your life if you can recognize that and stand in the, okay, I am there. For me, it was about the realization of why intuitives have problems with boundaries, have problems with knowing their needs and their wants, have problems communicating it, can't really take criticism and have self-esteem issues, have over emotional misunderstandings, and can't like not take things personally. I found the answer. That was the revelation, and that's what I'm building into my work now. And I'm definitely on that place of the Heartful Warrior. I'm not in that reactive place of the Hurtful Warrior or the angry victim anymore. So have a look. What was that part for you from 2010? Look at that story. I will be back on Monday at midday with a special on being able to see where you're resonating on the hero's journey. Until then, if you are intrigued and want to know more, then don't forget to click the link tiffanycrosara.com/invite/hero to get on the list for the waiting list for the early bird, which will be released on next Friday at 6 p.m. for 24 hours only. If your name's not down, you won't get that. So, and if you decide to come in later, it will not be at the nice juicy price. So put your name down on that if you want to go on the journey. Bye for now. Happy eclipse.